Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Subspace app desktop meet. I'm Arthur, Director of Product Engineering here, and here we are with the Subspace product team. Um, let's go over to our Subspace desktop board. We're gonna change the format a little bit differently this time, so that way we can have a better overlook about what's going on with the team, what we've done so far, and where we are going from here. So this week, we're going to be starting off our done column here. Ignore the heavy check mark as we clean up the columns, but this way we can go over a lot of the PRs that we come in so you can understand the features that we've introduced and what we're currently working on thus far. So starting off, we have a small Monomi model update. I think that's Surge.
Yeah, that's a refactoring PR. Nothing significant in terms of features, just a minor optimization for the code.
Awesome. We also have a bump to version 0.6.11.
Yeah, this one, we bumped the version to create a new pre-release because currently like the last stable release is 6.10, which is already like months ago. So this is for a new release.
Sweet. I also see we upgraded some dependencies. I think we can skip that one. I think this is a big one that we added this week, which is add Pania.
Yeah, it's yeah, we added a Pina store, something I mentioned last week when it was in progress. Yeah, so now we have like a state separated from the presentational components. I also added a bunch of unit tests there, and yeah, now it's merged.
Excellent. Reflect mono repo fix. I think this is Ozgun, but Ozgun needed a second. So why don't we jump back to that in a bit. Also reintroduce node start. That was also Ozgun as well. So let's give him a moment. Let's jump to the add error page. That's Surge.
Yeah. So this PR introduces the error page, just like you see on this screenshot. I can give you a live demo as well. So yeah, whenever we have an error in the application, we show this. So error title reflects particular specific error, and the body is still at the moment it's generic text until we clarify what would be the resolutions for each individual error. Uh, Yeah, so the next step would be to add the specific resolutions and more details on how to get in touch with our team. And I have added these points into the original issue.
Okay. Welcome back, Ozgun. You want to talk a little bit about the reflect mono repo fix?
Yeah, sure. So there was an issue in the monorepo. Nazar had a quick fix about that. We also had to reflect that in the Subspace desktop. It's not a major thing, so we can skip that.
Reintroduce nodes restart.
Yes, that was a big one. That was the actual reason that we did the upgrade dependencies PR, because we had to update the substrate, and subspace, and also Tauri, I believe. So now we have the functionality of renaming the node so that our users can customize the node name, and then node will restart. And this is actually a complex thing. Node and farmer needs to be communicating. So when node restarts, farmer actually crashes. So we have to handle that gracefully. And then farmer should restart itself too. So node should restart, and then farmer should restart, and then they should be communicating as well. This PR is about that in summary.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And then lastly, for this week, we have Eslint Format.
Yeah, this is very minor. It's about code style because we had like optional semicolons, optional use of single quotes or double quotes. So I just introduced some rules so we have some consistency in the code base.
Awesome. Love that. It's going to be great for us to have more automation. Cool. Let's go over to our block column. Application moves past syncing screen before actually syncing.
Yeah, so we discussed a few times what this error is about. So the problem is when the node is connected to peers that are still syncing, it might go to the synced state, which is not like the highest block will be less smaller than the highest block on the network. So in order for this to be fixed, we need a new dashboard design. So that's why it's in the blocked column.
Gotcha. Okay. We should probably link that issue later, but okay, that sounds good. Optimize farm list, slow app, and list scroll with more than 2,000 farmer blocks.
Yeah, so this is an old one, and we also discussed that in the new dashboard design, we should change how we what blocks, what farm blocks we reflect. So this also depends on the new dashboard.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure. Okay. Let's link the first issue with that after this meeting. Continue from plotting screen when the app reopens. Sorry, Özkan, any updates on
Sorry.
this?
Yeah. I was muted. I was speaking, but
Same here.
So, yeah, so this is again related to the new dashboard design because we are planning to merge the plotting progress screen and the dashboard into one. So then this issue will be irrelevant to fix.
Okay, perfect. I see you linked it, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Time section does not update asynchronously.
Yeah, this is submitted by Justin. It was the time stamps for the farmed blocks, and again, after the new dashboard design, it could be that we will no longer display the farmed blocks, or we could, I don't know, it's not certain. That's why, yeah.
Okay, so sounds good. So we should link this back to our redesign issue on 238. Does that sound good? That's
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Get rid of local storage.
Same issue. We only need the local storage for the farmed blocks. If we are to get rid of farmed blocks, we will automatically get rid of local storage. So this issue will be irrelevant.
Okay, gotcha. 238 is the big one. Rotate the log file.
This is actually not blocked. I was waiting for the Tokyo tracing team to have more updates on that, but it is good to go as it is right now. So as soon as my other tasks are finished, I will focus on this one.
Okay, great. Why don't we put this back into the inbox then?
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Excellent. Farm list, farm blocks, storage validation. Looks like another 238.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Cool. Jumping over, let's go to our in progress. We have Tari Updater feature to handle version updates distribution.
Yeah, so currently we have initial implementation, which is like we show dialog if there is a newer version on launch. And it's still in progress because next step would be to implement periodical polling to our update server to check updates more often. And in order to proceed with this one, we need to make our current pre-release version 6.11 stable one, because this is the version which was signed with Tauri update keys.
Gotcha.
Hope it makes sense.
Two questions on that. Can we have it? Are you guys going to be showing a demo of that today? What that feature looks like, or the user experience looks like?
No, because as I said, the current stable version is 0610, and it doesn't have a Tauri update keys like signature.
So this
Okay.
it's blocked by the code signing, right?
No, we just need to make our pre-release version to test. We need to test it, finalize it, and make it stable. Because currently, updater server points to 6.10, which is our current stable version, but it doesn't have a Tauri update keys signature.
Okay, I get that we can't make it connect to the server search, like to show the full production workflow, but
yeah.
Is there not some way that we can see, like you've already implemented all this, right? It just depends on this
right.
backend, but like the user interface exists. Is there not some way that we can see the actual workflow even, or like screenshots or something like that to just understand like what the experience looks like?
No, because the updater server will not install the current update because it checks for the signature. So it will show nothing.
Okay, could you walk us through it and explain what it would look like, or provide screenshots of like the UI at the different states? Like, is there any way before, like, I guess what I'm getting at, is there a way to get a demo of this to give feedback before we have gone through, like, before it's deployed into production?
Well, I can fork repository and create a stable release. But we need a stable release anyway to make it demoable.
Okay.
Is there a way for us to update the Atari updater to use a different version? So we can, if we're a pre-release version, is there a way for us to set a version that can trick it into letting us do that without releasing an official stable version?
Yeah, we could update our the code base of our updater server, but it will take some time.
Okay. All right, let's figure this out a little bit more, and then let's talk about how we can like get this ticket moving forward. Moving on, potential user confusion on which installer to download.
Yeah, word the title, but it's actually very simple for the executables to be downloaded. There are no sign of the operating system name, for example, windows.msi or macOS.dmg. So after the new workflow is completely finished, we will have this. So that's why it's in progress and it's waiting.
Okay, cool. Create a new publish workflow.
Yeah. By the way, any updates on that, Arthur? Have we updated the password for the desktop?
Yes, I will be doing that right after this meeting. So I posted in our thread, I think what we're going to update the keys on our desktop side. It does look a little stale. And then I am going to update, I'll fix the workflow as well. So let's try that first. And if I can get that pushed through, then I think we are good with this.
Okay, just please ping me as well when you do that so I can help you.
Yeah, sounds good. Here, I'll add myself to this one. But perfect. Yeah, I'll ping you after this meeting and we can get that done. These are ongoing ones, so I think this is going to be going for a while, but implement unit testing.
Yeah, so I have added some unit testing within the PR that was dedicated to adding Pina store. And I also need to update, to add tests run for the GitHub workflow. So I will do it once we have a new workflow.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. This is exciting to hear.
Quick question on that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Serge, are you doing unit tests for any of the components on the final screen right now?
No, not at the moment. We have only tests for the store, for the state logic.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, just want to make sure that we're not doing tests on some code that we're about to refactor or UI that we're about to refactor. Okay, cool.
All right, awesome. Implement end-to-end testing. Any updates on this one?
Yeah, so I was checking what are the options for Tauri UI, and probably we will have WebDriver, but I haven't started any implementation yet.
Okay, cool. Let me move this back into inbox then, since we haven't started on it. That's fine. Inline documentation of code. As mentioned, this one's going to be important as we move toward our audit and also just to clean up our base. So this will probably be in progress for a while.
Yeah, I started on this today. I was checking what are the options apart from JSDoc, which is like the most mainstream. And I found another one, which is TypeDoc. It has like a better TypeScript support. So I want to confirm if it's okay with Nazar. And once it's done, we can start implementation.
We can go with that. We don't need Nazar's confirmation on that, Serge.
Okay.
If that's the one you would prefer. I mean, if you're okay with that, Arthur.
Yeah, I think the TypeDoc one sounds great. We are in TypeScript, so if it gives you added benefits, then let's try that out.
Okay.
And then, Özkan, I see you kind of linked yourself for Rust. So any updates on your end?
No.
Okay.
Not for this one.
Cool. And then the last in progress, implement error pages for potential worst case scenarios.
Yeah, so I mentioned already regarding PR, we have a basic implementation, but we still need to add some specifics.
Okay. Okay. I'll relink this to the. I remember this is 298, right? So let me link that. Cool. And we can update this running issue with that with the remaining items. Excellent. Moving forward. All right, we have a few items in our triage today, and also we've moved some back into our inbox. So let's just quickly go over this. The first one, I opened this one up. Notify Discord community channel of pre-releases. As mentioned, we are starting to open a pre-release testing Discord channel where we are interacting with the community to help us test our pre-releases. I think what's going to be helpful going forward is if we can add a simple workflow in our repository to notify the community when we have new release updates. So
yeah, but about that, I checked the link that you post in here. I think they will work. So after we finish the new workflow, I'm planning to embody this in the new workflow as well, so we can get that going. So maybe we can carry this from triage to do or inbox.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Have we gotten any community involved in the pre-release testing yet for the current pre-release?
Yeah, we've had some people chime in into the pre-release Discord channel, but generally just asking the channel itself about some issues they're running into. Also, to mention, we now have a forum topic on our discourse. So that is now open with some guidance on how to open it, but we have yet to see anyone open an official issue on that.
Okay. So does that mean people have been testing it, but they just haven't had any issues?
Yes. So we have folks in the channel that are like commenting about some issues they're running into.
Okay, but nothing that's required a ticket to be produced?
Nothing that's been produced a ticket so far. But we could probably, I can follow up through the channel and see if there's something there that we can turn into an issue.
Okay. Do we have like a end state, I guess, at which point we're ready to move that pre-release to release?
I think if I understand correctly, then I think the next phase is just to test the updater for the next release, right? That's the big feature that we have coming up to release.
Actually, it's error pages. Me and Serge just found a bug today about the error pages when Farmer is restarting. So I will, me and Serge will try to fix that, and after that, it should be good to go for the new releasing a new pre-release, so our users can test that. For the current pre-release, it should be good to go for the latest, I think.
Okay, and just to be clear, when we say should be good to go, what other testing has been done other than just asking community testers to do it that haven't reported any issues? Have we done any internal testing? Have we verified that it works across platforms? Anything like that?
I don't think so. At least I didn't do that, or I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Okay, so let's we'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead.
All right. Non-ASCII characters in path crash app on Windows.
This is a slight bug. Thanks for Ivan for figuring that out. One of his friends were testing the application, I believe. He was using some Russian characters. So that's why the application was crashing. We found out that our current application only supports English characters, non-ASCII characters. We might have support for that later, but it's for sure not a priority at the moment.
Okay. Okay, then why don't we just move that to backlog for now? But I think we should probably revisit this at some point because I think having the app crash with non-ASCII characters could be an issue.
Yeah, some of the name of the users are non-ASCII. That's why it can create an issue.
Because we have quite a few.
That...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, Arthur.
I was saying that, I mean, we have quite a big, large base of non-ASCII character farmers, so I think we should probably revisit this sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So this is this the bug you said that Justin identified? Or is this something
No.
else?
This is
No, it
something
was
else.
hit
This
by,
is
yeah,
You want?
a friend of mine hit it because his username was in Russian characters. Yeah.
Okay, so right now with the current pre-release, if you run it in Russian on Windows, it will crash.
Not necessarily. Like, if your computer is Russian, there is no problem with that. But if you picked your username in Russian alphabet, and the path we are installing this application is C Windows users your username, and that username includes Russian characters, the app crashes.
Okay. Considering 70% of our user base is from Russia, we probably need to fix that. That's a really high priority ticket to resolve.
All right.
Do we know, like, do we have a general idea of like what a solution could be to fix this, or is this like because of Tori, or?
It is related to Tauri, as far as I know. I will double check on that and see for a way out.
Okay.
I debugged it a little. I believe we just convert the OS path to just string somewhere, or we just get the string out of the JavaScript. So yeah, and string assumes that it is UTF-8, I believe. So yeah, that may be the issue.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Ivan.
here, let's take this off back burner, and then I say we move this into the top of the inbox. And it sounds like, Yvonne, if you could take a look at that or provide more guidance, that would be great.
Yeah, sure.
All right, this is the notorious 238 redesigned dashboard issue. I feel like this should be in inbox already then, correct? Because a lot of things are waiting on this particular issue.
Yeah, so this is going to be, this is dependent on a lot of things. First off, the user journey audit that you're doing, Arthur, and then a design discussion that we're going to have around that before we can do this redesign. So that's something we'll be working on over the next few weeks.
Okay. All right, so I'll move this to the inbox, and then I'll prune through the board to make sure we can attach all the issues related to this the other way, and then we'll go from there. We'll just put this right here for now, because this is going to be a longer running task. Cool. Dashboard plot component 294. Oh, I think this is waiting on me, right? I'll put this back into the inbox. Just to clarify, it looks like there's some, components and icons that are missing that we just need to put back in, right, Serge?
Yeah, we need to clarify statuses for this plot component, and there is an icon missing for each status.
Okay, can we roll this up into 238 for the redesign? Because I think if we just spend some time to just, okay. Let me connect this. So I figure that maybe this is about time for us to kind of just take care of all the design issues. So that way, going forward, we don't have to. We'll have a more streamlined process for this. All right. As mentioned, we'll probably go through the backlog at another time. But yeah, I think that's it. Is there any more thoughts, comments that we all want to discuss before we end the call?
I have a demo ready for displaying the node restart feature. If you guys want, I can show it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Here, let me remove myself from presenting. Feel free to take over.
Okay. This one. So I will share it from a recorded video. So right now we have the application running. Below you see the terminal. So right now everything is working, and then I'm renaming the node. The node is restarting, and then you can see the farmer is restarting. These opening plot, opening object mapping, opening with commitments, these are related to farmer. So I will do it a couple of more times, and you can see that every time node and farmer successfully restarts themselves. And the good thing is, on the front end, nothing is displayed. Everything is hidden for the back end. So So the techie user base will know what's happening in the background, but for the regular users will not even discover that the fact that node and farmer is restarting. They will just feel that the name has successfully changed and everything is going well. So that's all.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Oskan. Any other comments?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, thanks everyone for watching and joining us here at Subspace Apps Inc. Thanks, everybody.